Welcome back to 20th and Blake. The Rockies, after a week in California, 3-3 road trip, return home to see the Milwaukee Brewers for 3, and then Ozzie Guillen's Miami Marlins for 4. Welcome, everybody, upstairs. It is a Monday at Coors Field with Jeff Hewson. I'm Drew Goodman. Glad, as always, that you are along with us. The Rockies have not seen the Brew Crew since very early in the season when they took 2 of 3 at Miller Park. Milwaukee's an interesting team, kind of like the Rockies, because their bullpen, in this case, has obscured what otherwise a pretty good baseball team.
It really is. I mean, they're sitting 9 games under 500, and their offense, you look at it, they're first in the National League as far as home runs. They're 5th in runs. So a lot of things that they're doing offensively would translate to more wins. But since July 20, just 8-14. But it's that back end. The starters have been okay. They're middle of the pack as far as ERA and everything else. But it's the bullpen that has struggled mightily. You think of a John Axford, who has been so good in previous years. This year he has 18 saves, but an ERA over 5 has been moved out of the closer's role, back into the closer's role. And this is a number that just jumps out at you, and it just makes you shake your head. They've had 22 blown saves.
That is a ton. And you mentioned Axford. It wasn't all that long ago that he had 49 consecutive saves, which is the 4th longest streak in the history of the game. Since he blew his first one this year, the season's come unraveled, and that's why Milwaukee finds themselves under 500. We'll come back. We'll get you closer to first pitch. We'll talk a little bit about the guy at the top of the Rockies' order of late. Little overcast and a cooler night than we've seen at Coors Field in quite some time. The Brewers 52-61. The Rockies come in at 41-71. Back upstairs with my partner Jeff Hewson. I'm Drew Goodman. The road trip, the Rockies went 3-3 against the top two teams in the National League West, so a solid road trip. And I think if you had to pick an offensive MVP, it'd be pretty easy. It would be Eric Young at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, the catalyst there. 13 for 27 on this past road trip. And you told me yesterday, go ahead and pencil him into the lineup, the top of the lineup today, and I did that because of these numbers. 481, a home run, which was the inside the park thing. Also, 6 runs scored for Eric Young Jr. So everything that you would expect from a leadoff guy, he did. He had 3 3-hit games and 2 2-hit games. And he put the pressure on the opposing team. That's part of the reason they went 3-3 on this road trip. The other thing I looked at for Eric Young Jr. too, though, is he played all 3 outfield positions. And you would think back to last year and his defense and the progression that he's made in the transition to go out and be able to play at least average, if not above average defense. I think that is also the testament to Eric Young's hard work.
Well, one of the scouting phrases that you're very familiar with is solid average, which is probably a little bit better than average. That's what he's become out there in terms of his route running, probably even, as you said, above average. He'll never throw great,
nope.
But you know what? Nobody talks about his outfield play anymore, and that's a positive. So Eric Young's been sensational. He'll start things out again for the Rockies tonight. It's Colorado, it's Milwaukee. Jeff Francis on the hill for the Rockies. Come on back to 20th and Blake with us. Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota moving forward. By CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Inside Coors Field on a Monday evening, Jeff Francis going to the mound in his career start number 163 in a Rockies uniform. That is second all time. And leading off for the Milwaukee Brewers will be Nori Aoki. He's done a really good job in the leadoff role. When the Rockies saw the Brewers earlier in the year, he was primarily coming off the bench. But Nyjer Morgan has not been the Nyjer Morgan we've seen in years past. He's become more of an extra outfielder. They've had a myriad of injuries, so Aoki starts in right field. He can really run, and he'll be followed in the lineup by Ricky Weeks, who's having a much better second half than he had first half. Despite that .216 average, he has been better of late. Ryan Braun, the defending National League MVP, having another terrific year. Ramos Ramirez having a good year. He'll bat cleanup. Corey Hart, Jonathan Lucroy healthy again. Carlos Gomez will be in center field. He can run. Cody Ransom was a waiver wire pickup from Arizona. He'll be at shortstop tonight, and Michael Fiers will be on the hill. More on Fiers when he takes to the hill. He's had a terrific year. Jeff Francis making his 14th start since coming from the Reds organization.
Yeah, 6th or 7th start against the Brewers this year. Last start, he would like to get better at that. I mean, the problem for Jeff lately has been the home run ball. He's given up a home run in his last 5 starts. It's going to be a fastball about 55% of the time, and we'll cut that. Changeup and the 12-6 curveball. Good start.
Get an out on the first pitch of the game. You like it. Aoki grounds out to DJ LeMahieu. 1 out. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. Well, the one guy's been moving around the outfield, as Huey was telling you, is Eric Young. He'll be in right field tonight. Dexter and Cargo in their familiar spots. Chris Nelson gets the start for Pacheco at third. Just a day off for him. Herrera goes for Rutledge. Rutledge getting a day off. A little bit of a soreness in a quadricep. DJ LeMahieu's been really good offensively of late. Tyler Colvin at first, and behind the plate once again is Willeen Rosario. Again, Rutledge, it's a day-to-day thing. He said the quad bothers him actually not when he's accelerating when he's running, but when he's slowing down. And I had what I thought was great advice for him. I said, well, then don't slow down.
Well, I think just trot around is always a good option.
Yes.
Well, you don't have to run full speed.
Why don't guys think like we do?
I don't know.
2-strike count on big, strong Ricky Weeks. There's Rutledge next to Pacheco. Well, it looks like San Francisco guys wearing sweatshirts in the dugout.
It's just 73 degrees tonight. But still a beautiful night here in the Rocky Mountains.
Rarely anything but. We had spectacular weather over the weekend in San Francisco. 1-2 on Ricky Weeks. Big time pop, and that ball cuts inside. 2-2.
And really for Ricky Weeks, you don't know where to bat him in the lineup. They've tried him at leadoff. They tried him down into the 6th and 7th spot, an RBI spot. But Carlos Gomez wasn't doing anything. They moved him to the number 2 spot in hopes that that would just settle him lock him into a lineup.
Well, he had just a miserable first half.
That's an understatement.
Strike 3 on the outside corner. So Jeff Francis freezes Weeks. 2 gone here in the opening frame, and Ryan Braun coming up.
Well, all 4 quadrants did Jeff attack. He went downstairs, away, and then up and in to keep him honest. 2-seam fastball, and perfectly received on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo from Willeen Rosario.
So here's Braun, and that's on the outside corner. C.B. Buckner's behind home plate. Brawny's average has come down a little bit. He's down around 304. He still leads the league in home runs at 29. And if you look at his slugging percentage and his OPS, on base plus slugging percentage, it's actually ahead of his MVP season of last year. He's been bothered a little bit by a bad blister on his left hand. So many power hitters kind of use the bottom of, the knob of the bat, and it rolls over in their palm. It rests on their palm.
Well, because of that, you had to put a pad there, and hitters are just like surgeons. I mean, the bat is their instrument that they use, and if it doesn't feel right in your hand, you're not going to have the confidence or when you go to the plate that you can do the same things that you're used to, and you can see where that knob sits in the hand of Ryan Braun.
And again, Jeff Francis pulls the string. What a start. 2 punch outs in a 1-2-3 beginning for Jeff Francis. We'll see Eric Young and the Rockies offense when we come back. Good curveball. Eric Young Jr. will lead things off. Bragging about him a few moments ago during our open. EY hit almost 500 during the road trip. He's got the average up to 306. The batting order presented by Southwest Airlines and written out earlier by Jim Tracy. We'll have Johnny Herrera batting in that 2 spot that Josh Rutledge has been occupying. Dexter will bat 3rd. Cargo will bat cleanup. Willeen Rosario, Tyler Colvin 5 and 6. Nelson will bat 7th. LeMahieu 8th, and then Jeff Francis against Mike Fiers, who's a little unconventional, but the numbers have been eye-opening.
Yeah, out on the road 2-1 with a .99. That's not a misprint, folks. Just 3 earned runs in 27 in a 3rd innings. And a fastball 70% of the time, but included in that 70%, about 25% of the time will be a cut fastball at 85 to 86, over the top curveball, and a straight changeup.
He'll come right after you, and it's not overpowering stuff. It is hard, evidently, though, for hitters to pick it up, and that ball tailed back over the inside corner. It's quickly a 2-strike count.
Well, I'd show you why, because he hides the baseball. Okay, there it is, but the window you need to look at is up there, and how do you pick it up as a hitter?
Listen to this. Fiers in his last 9 starts, all quality starts, has an ERA of 1.03. 1.03. And this is not some sort of fluke, because last year he was the minor league pitcher of the year in the Brewers organization.
Yeah, 13-3 with a 1.86 ERA between AA Huntsville and AAA Nashville.
Pretty good for a former 22nd round pick. This ball's turned on and drilled to the corner. Stay high, Eric Young Jr. It'll be at least 2. And Jr. will get the stop sign from Richie Dower. Man, oh man, is he on fire.
And just spraying the ball all over the place. 6 double this season for Eric Young Jr. Jonathan Croy wanted to go away. He had to reach back across his body, so he missed his spot in his location, and EY made him pay for it. Picking up Richie Dower just like you're supposed to if the ball's behind you.
So Johnny Herrera, Mr. Dependable, at the plate trying to move.
And he might bunt.
EY along. Didn't show bunt there, but that doesn't mean anything. Because Johnny typically is going to take a strike anyhow.
He was working on it during batting practice today, bringing the ball with him and trying to pull it to first base.
You have a guy that's not real experience at first base at the big league level in Corey Hart, though he's done a nice job there defensively. Corey, all the seasons we've seen him, he's always been a right fielder.
He's only made 1 error over there at first, but still the experience. Do I pick it up and attempt to throw to third, and who's running at second base? The indecision between the pitcher and the first baseman.
1-1, and it's pulled through the hole, a base hit. Eric Young Jr. gets a green light. Aoki's throw to the plate's on line, not in time. Run-scoring base hit for Johnny Herrera, 1-0 Colorado. Corey Hart complimenting Johnny Herrera. And the interesting thing is Hart was playing back also.
Yeah, and because of that, you're wondering, is this ball going to get through with the hanging breaking pitch? But Jonathan, on top of it, does what you like to see a guy do with the runner on second base and nobody out. If you're not going to bunt him over, take a hard swing at it, and he did that and found the hole.
So the Rockies, a quick start against a guy who hasn't given up much at all this year, Mike Fiers. Shows a pretty good move as Herrera dives back in.
This is the 4th earned run now Fiers has given up on the road.
If you're wondering, he's never pitched at Coors Field. Made his big league debut in relief last year against the Rockies. Worked a scoreless inning.
The first guy that he faced and struck out was Carlos Gonzalez. First major league strikeout.
Cargo waiting in the on-deck circle. And that ball cuts inside. 2-0.
Now you have to wonder about.
Actually, let me correct that. 1-0.
Fires, because the first breaking pitch that he threw at elevation, it was hit for a base hit, and it hung. So does he have the confidence to go back to that curveball? Or is it going to be a fastball, cut, fastball, changeup night?
And this ball is well hit toward right center field. Aoki can't catch it. Off the wall. Around third, Herrera. He gets a late stop sign. How about double, single, double to greet Mike Fiers? 13th double for Fowler.
Well, with this swing, you can tell there's no repercussions from the back issue on Saturday in San Francisco, because he got through this baseball very well. Short stride, leg kick away, but the long arms and extension from Dexter Fowler drives it into right center field for his 13th double this season. And with Carlos Gonzalez, Richie Dower stopped there, let Carlos drive in a run or two.
Cargo had a forgettable road trip. 0 for 16. Can't remember seeing 0 for anything for Carlos Gonzalez, other than maybe a ball game. He went 0 for 4 last night, so 0 for 16. That is most unusual.
Yeah, for the pedigree of a Carlos Gonzalez, put that one in the books. That's not happening very often in his career.
And Cargo is going to get an RBI out of the deal. As Ricky Weeks throws to first, RBI number 75. And it's 2-0 as Herrera scores and Fowler goes to third. Time now for today's Chevy's Dare to Compare, brought to you by the Chevy Equinox. 32 highway miles per gallon. It outperforms its competitors. Chevy made for Colorado. Lowest ERA since June the 16th. Michael Fiers 1.02. Jordan Zimmerman, Felix Hernandez, Jared Weaver. Pretty nice group to be among, and he is way ahead of everybody else. The Rockies have 2 against him, and now with 1 out and a runner at third, Ron Renicky will bring the infield in.
And they have a chance to do something against Fiers that hasn't happened in the last 9 games. He'd only allowed 2 earned runs or less in his past 9 starts. Get this run in, that'd be the 3rd one. Just look for a ball to hit to the outfield.
That's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike on Wallin. Looking for his first RBI in his last 10 days. Fiers, a native of Hollywood, Florida, makes his home in Pompano Beach, Florida. And he got a hanger and he hits a towering fly ball to center field. Gomez waiting. Dexter at third should score pretty easily. And he'll score standing up. 3 runs here in the opening frame for the Rockies against Mike Fiers. We haven't checked the Brewers defense yet, but they've been running around all over the place. Ryan Braun, very solid left fielder, converted third baseman a few years ago. Carlos Gomez can fly in center. Aoki's got a big arm, 6 gold gloves in Japan when he was playing over there. It's Ramirez, Ransom, Weeks, and Hart in the infield. Jonathan Lucroy's behind the plate. 2 outs, nobody on, 3 runs in, and here's Tyler Colvin.
We talk about situational hitting all the time, Drew. You get the leadoff double, the get him over, but it was a base hit. So you score that run, a double. Carlos Gonzalez, what does he do? Hits the ball to the right side, drive a run in, move the runner to third, sac fly, 3 runs.
Yeah, well done.
All the things you work on every single day in batting practice paid off.
And that's why when people look in from afar and they see the miserable 41-71 record, and they wonder, boy, the Rockies give an effort. How's that working out? Well, every day, you see guys play their tails off, but just not getting the results they'd like. Good start, though, 3-0.
To nothing as we head to the second. Well, today's ceremonial first pitch participant should be an inspiration to us all. Harry Rotman is one of the 70 victims that was involved in the Aurora Theater shooting. In fact, he had a gunshot wound to his leg. He stayed in the hospital for a while to recover, but he's recovering great. Alex White was the one to catch him. He looked like he had a blast out there today, all smiles. But this is actually the second surprise for Kerry to come to a game. He had a chance to visit in the hospital with actor Christian Bale, who actually plays Batman. All of this today was sponsored by Miller Coors, who he is an employee of. It's just part of his workplace's help for his road to recovery. Very special story, and again, neat to see Kerry out here with a big smile on his face, guys.
Absolutely. That's a great story. Chris Nelson on the move. That's a great play by Nelson to throw out Aramis Ramirez.
And that's not an easy play. Chris made it look easy, but off the bat, he comes in and it has a spin on it that causes it on the second hop to kick to his right, so he has to make the adjustment and then off the wrong foot make a strong throw, and it helps when you have an arm like Chris Nelson to make this throw on the money.
Jenny, thanks for that story again. 1 strike count on Corey Hart. Corey just 1 for his last 18. The 1 was a home run in the Houston series. The Astros took 2 of 3 from the Brewers. The Brewers won yesterday. It snapped an 11-game road losing streak, which is the second longest in franchise history. You have to go all the way back to 1970 when they stumbled to 17 straight losses. And for Ron Renicky, his team had been in position to win a number of those ball games. That hit him. A number of those ball games during the 11-game losing streak.
Yeah, they said, I mean, talking to people with the Brewers, they said they could have gone 8-3, and with a couple breaks here and there, they could have gone 10-1 in those 11 games that they lost on the road. But it goes back to what we were talking about in the open is their bullpen and the lack of bullpen. It went behind him. Did it graze his right calf?
Yeah.
That's what got him.
Jonathan Lucroy up there with Hart at first and one gone. Remember the start Lucroy got off to?
He missed 50 games after breaking his hand. But he was on pace for an all-star berth.
He's never made an out against Jeff Francis. He's 3 for 3. Signed a lucrative long-term deal earlier this year. And this ball's in the air to left field. He got it off the end of the bat a little bit. And Cargo makes the catch. The crowd was concerned for a moment because trajectory-wise, it looked like, uh-oh, they hit one of the seats.
Missed it by an inch off the sweet spot.
Or as Don Adams and Get Smart would say, he missed it by this much.
It would be that much.
Yeah, Rockies fans, coming this Thursday, Root Sports is introducing a new interactive second screen experience. It's called Game Connect. I think you're going to like this. You'll get live game stats, including play-by-play and all head-to-head stats. Dig deeper into the matchups and chat with other fans in game talk. If you like interacting, tune in Thursday night during the Rockies and Marlins game to learn how. We're excited about that. It's Root Sports Game Connect, and we'll learn along with you. Carlos Gomez at the plate. He had just one hit in that Houston series, 1 for 12. Former top prospect of the New York Mets. He was part of the Santana trade when Santana went from Minnesota to New York. Gomez was one of the prize young players that ended up in Minnesota. It didn't work out. He came down to Milwaukee.
Yeah, always a tools player. Scouts love these type of guys because you time him. He's got great speed, strong arm, can go get the ball defensively.
Strong kid too.
Big, strong kid. But that lies. The problem with him is what type of player is he? Is he a home run hitter, or is he gap to gap, try to get on base, steal bases? I don't think he's ever found out what his identity is.
Well, the problem is, it's like me. If I put my tool belt on, I go in Home Depot, I can look the part, but you don't want me fixing anything.
No, not at all. Just leave the tool belt at home.
Broken bat, roller to second. DJ LeMahieu will get Gomez by a step, who flies up the line. Good second inning as well for Jeff Francis. Rockies have a 3-0 lead. By your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Step up to the plate, get more miles per gallon with the hottest car line in America, Hyundai. The Brewers are here for 3 ball games. A programming note, Wednesday afternoon, a non-televised affair. Make sure you get on out here to 20th and Blake. Thursday, the Marlins in town. And we'll have all 4 of those ball games right here on Root Sports. 3-0 Colorado. Chris Nelson looks at strike one on the inside corner against Mike Fiers. Nelly getting the start at third base, brings a .260 average into the affair.
And that is the pitch that you need to lay off of from Fiers. The one that looks like you can hit it at the top of the zone, but it's tough to lay off.
That is smoke toward left center field. Gomez got to go in a hurry to cut it off. He slides. Nelson's going to challenge the arm, and he's going to have a double standing up. Now the Rockies are not having an issue at all picking up Mike Fiers. They have squared up 4 balls now in the game. That's their 3rd double. Check our big hit presented by Mako, the company that repairs all kinds of hits. DJ LeMahieu against the Giants a couple of days ago. Got a breaking ball against Matt Cain and hit it out. His first career home run. Check out your local Mako for collision repairs and auto painting for as low as $349. Visit Mako.com today. And DJ pulls it through the hole, base hit. Nelson will stop at third as Ryan Braun got to the baseball quickly. Mike Fiers has not been greeted like this yet as a starter in the big leagues.
Oh, he's thrown 15 strikes out of his 22 pitches to the plate, and for his effort, he's got 5 base hits against him.
And you know, the inclination from afar, if you're game tracking from New York or Chicago or Milwaukee even, well, if you're Milwaukee, you probably watch it, but the point is, you say, oh, Fiers having trouble at Coors Field. These aren't Coors Field hits. No. These are bullets.
They would be hits at any ballpark that you go to, even the tough ones, the San Franciscos, the San Diegos, the way the ball has been squared up today.
Jeff Francis will try to move up LeMahieu. Pulled the bat back, and it's in there for a strike.
Well, as close as Aramis Ramirez is, too, at third base, Chris Nelson can get it. I mean, Aramis is going to end up right in this area. Chris can follow him down the line as the pitch is coming. Just stay 2 or 3 steps behind him and then see where the throw goes, and you could trot home. Because the second baseman has to rotate over to first over here. Shortstop goes to second.
And Nelson is shadowing him down. That's in the air. It's caught. It's the one thing you didn't want to see happen. 1 out.
And that's why if you're Jeff Francis, you're trying to bunt it to the first base side. Aramis Ramirez is no more than 20 feet from home plate when he dives for that baseball.
So it's first and third, 1 out, and Eric Young, who got the Rockies going with a double to the right field corner. Stayed off the breaking ball.
And with each passing day for Eric Young Jr., you can see the confidence growing at the plate. He's getting the reps. He's seeing the baseball. He's doing everything that you would like a leadoff hitter to do. See pitches, score runs.
Well, EY is a confident young man. We've talked many times about how professional he is. He grew up around the game, how mature he is, how hard-working he is. And one thing that, you know, he doesn't want to be known as a guy that can slaps and runs. He believes, and he did in the minor leagues, he can put his foot down and drive the ball. He's not saying I'm going to hit 15 home runs, but he can hit the ball with authority. LeMahieu takes off, hit and run. Well done. Only 1 play. And now LeMahieu will go all the way to third. One hustle by DJ LeMahieu. Talk about doing the little things. Great execution on the hit and run. Eric Young got it in play. 1 play for Cody Ransom, and DJ LeMahieu just rounded second kept on moving.
Yeah, RBI for Eric Young, hit and run from DJ. He takes a peek, looks back. Chris Nelson scores, but he doesn't stop. He keeps running. And you can do this when you're playing with house money. You're up 4-0. You've got a guy in Corey Hart that sure hasn't only made one error over there, but he's not used to throwing from first to third.
Johnny Herrera singled in a run just an inning ago. Really good situational at bats early in this baseball game. 4-0 Colorado. 4 runs on 5 hits, 3 of which are doubles. Seen a sac fly by Willeen Rosario. Cargo getting the ball pulled to the right side to drive in a run. Herrera did it and found a hole. And then that at bat by Eric Young Jr. and DJ LeMahieu taking 2 bases.
I mean, that's what's exciting when you're not playing behind the 8 ball after the first inning. Jeff Francis put that inning down. You score 3, put the second inning down. And you can play from ahead and you can hit and run. You can bunt guys over. You can take the extra base. And that's what managers like to do. They like to put pressure on the opposing team in the defense.
Two and 2. Strike 3 on Eric Young Jr. Good inning again for the Rockies. Leadoff double by Chris Nelson. Rockies cash that in. 4-0. They lead. Jenny Kavnar. Rockies back in April were in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they took 2 of 3 from the Brewers. They scored 4 runs a game, and the most important thing is they got big outs. They limited the Brewers to a 189 batting average. Todd Helton hit a home run in that series, as you say. When the Rockies were a little healthier, huh? Troy Tulowitzki, remember him? Rockies hope to get Michael Kadire back hopefully by the weekend. He's due to come off Thursday, took batting practice, and fielded it today. Tough play for Francis, and he's not going to be able to get Cody Ransom. So Ransom a bunt single. But just to finish the Kadire thought, Michael feels good.
Yeah, I was watching him during batting practice today. Ball jumping off his bat, go out on a rehab. Cody Ransom picked up off of waivers from Arizona for the Milwaukee Brewers. He lays down a picture-perfect bunt.
And that'll bring up Fiers. The one thing Mike Fiers hasn't done, he hadn't hit.
0 for 19, that's not hitting.
Wow. Probably not going to get sent anywhere the way he's been pitching. He gets the bunt down there, and Willeen Rosario will go to Colvin at first.
That is his 5th sacrifice bunt, though.
Top of the order, and Nori Aoki, who grounded to second. Join in on the conversation. You can share your thoughts, questions on the ball game. Go to Toyota. Text Toyota 720-720. And you know the drill. If you text right now, you'll be entered to win a 1-year family membership to the Denver Zoo, so you can see the new Toyota Elephant Passage exhibit. Don't leave out the other animals, though. Aoki takes ball 1.
Oh, you'll hurt their feelings. The zoo. It's a fun place to go.
Zoo's a great place. Doug Marino, when he travels, makes a point of trying to hit every zoo. In all the cities we go to. We go to some cities with great zoos. San Diego Zoo. Dougie, where else? What else high on the list? Pittsburgh's got a good zoo, right? Phillies? Yeah, Cincinnati I know has a good zoo. Yeah.
Philly. Philadelphia, the first zoo in the country.
And then you can go to Yankee Stadium, go to the Bronx Zoo. One in the same. A few years back. We'll be in the Big Apple next week.
But not on that side.
No,
the other side.
We'll be in Queens. Yep. 2-0 on Aoki. The Brewers are 5th in the National League in runs scored. After a slow start defensively, they've continued to climb the fielding charts. They're among the top 5 teams defensively now. Their rotation is hung in there nicely. Gallardo, by the way, got the win yesterday. Giovanni.
Even with Zach Greinke being out of the rotation.
Yeah, Greinke, of course, was traded. It's how they picked up the young shortstop Segura, who I'm sure we'll see. He's a little sore. He ran into Chris Snyder yesterday.
That's like running into a brick wall.
And Chris is the biggest catcher in baseball, 6'4" and about 240 pounds. Here's the 2-1. But as you said, even without Greinke, the issue, just like the Rockies' main issue has been starting pitching and a lot of injuries, Milwaukee's issues has been their bullpen, along with some significant injuries.
Yeah, I talked about the 22 blown saves. Their save percentage is .532. That's 15th out of 16 teams. And you really don't know who's going to pitch when.
Ground ball to Colvin. 2 outs as Ransom goes to third. And it's not just blown saves, because sometimes they give you a blown save, you have a 4-3 lead in the 7th, and you give up a run. I mean, that happens. They've blown of late 2 4-run 8th inning leads.
Yeah, and one of them against the Houston Astros. And
not a good team.
No, not a good team, a very young team. But to give them hope that they can come back, that's the type of stuff that the Brewers have been dealing with.
Ricky Weeks at the plate. 0-1.
But Ricky's had to fight to get it up to 212. Those are blown saves we were mentioning.
The Rockies.
Well, and if you look
high up on that list, you don't want to be on.
No, and every team on the list is below 500. Well, the Miami Marlins come to town and take on the Rockies for 4 games. That begins August 16th. That's Thursday. Get your tickets now. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Ozzie Guillen and his traveling band.
It's a different traveling band than the last time we saw the Miami Marlins. They made a lot of moves. Here's the 1-1 fouled off. You know, Ricky Weeks, Jeff, and you described the fact that Ron Renneke rewarding Weeks because he's hit better than 350 over the last few weeks, moved him up to the 2-hole. Last year, he never hit in this spot in the lineup. He would lead off or bat 5th.
Yeah, and July 24th, he was hitting 190. And that shows you the faith that Renicky has. He's been 21 for 58 since.
2-2.
But they had a different lineup last year. They had Prince Fielder in that lineup.
They won 96 games last year, capturing their first National League Central Division title. They won the division by 6 games over the eventual world champions, the Cardinals. Wow.
That was 2 behind the hitters now for Jeff. That'll keep you honest.
Talk about coming inside. He came to the other side.
Other side of him, and how about Willeen catching it? He doesn't catch that. That goes to the backstop and run scores.
See what he follows that up with. Change up away. Yep. Missed with it though. And it's first and third, and a game changer coming up in Ryan Braun.
He struck Braun out with the sweeping curveball.
Braun 4 for 12 with a couple of home runs lifetime against Jeff. And a ground ball to third. Chris Nelson will throw across to Colvin. Nice job by Jeff Francis. He gets out of a 2-out first and third situation. Rockies leading 4-0, middle of 3. Land Rover. Rockies got a quick start against Mike Fiers in the first. Eric Young Jr. doubled, and he was brought home on this single by Johnny Herrera. And then Carlos Gonzalez, runners at second and third, made sure he pulled the baseball. He got another run home. And then the hanging breaking ball served to center field by Willeen Rosario. Sacrifice fly, 3-0. And then the hit and run with Eric Young Jr. in a first and third situation. Chris Nelson, who had doubled, would come on down. Back live, Dexter Fowler in a 4-0 ball game. Takes ball 1 from Fiers. At the knees. No, you know what? I look at CB was thinking about pumping that right arm, and he said, I think it's low.
Well, it was in the 4th strike zone.
2-0. That's called the strike. 2-1. And 2-2.
That's where Fires will top out, 88 to 89 miles an hour. Reminds you of Josh Coleminter as far as velocity and speeds.
And it's full. And this ball is roped right center field. Off-speed pitch down. Gomez is going to hold Fowler to a single.
Changeup down.
Dexter aboard in front of Carlos Gonzalez. Who wants tacos? Rockies are on their way tonight. Remember, when the Rockies score 7 in a game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 in the afternoon. And get your Rockies taco special. And this gets thrown away. So Gonzalez will go to second on the error.
The third error for Fires this year.
There's a Cargo. Fowler to second.
Corey Hart didn't stand a chance with the runner sliding back. And it hits Dexter in the shoulder. If it hadn't hit him in the shoulder, that's down the right field line, and Dexter's at third base.
And they run a pick play again at second.
That takes some guts. After just throwing the ball away, to turn around and fire one to second. She pitchers did fire that one into center field.
Cargo drives this ball to deep right field, and he hits it off the wall. Coming home is Fowler. It's going to be a 375-foot single. It snaps an 0 for 17 for Gonzalez. And it makes it 5-0 Colorado. That was a typical Carlos Gonzalez rocket.
76th RBI, second one tonight for Carlos. Talk about getting on top of a baseball and driving it. I mean, that's prime example. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermos. What a gorgeous shot, and the follow through and the finish from Carlos Gonzalez. Aoki could just go back and play it off the wall and get it back in to keep Carlos at first.
Running situation for Gonzalez with Willeen Rosario at first, or excuse me, at the plate. Well, you mentioned it took a lot of guts from Mike Fiers to, after throwing the ball away at first, to run a pick play at second. This kid's not short on guts, and I'll tell you why. He was at Cumberland University in Kentucky, and mentioned that he lives in Florida. He was at home, and he was driving back to school, and he fell asleep at the wheel on the Florida Turnpike. He hit the guardrail and was not wearing a seatbelt. He got ejected through the front windshield of the car. He had a dislocated hip and 4 fractures in his back. He did not play baseball in 2008. He was lucky, as you can imagine, to be alive. He was using a walker for a long period of time. He transferred to Nova Southeastern University back near his home. And after being a 6th-year senior, that's when he got selected by Milwaukee in the 22nd round. Cargo takes off, not going to get him. Stolen base number 16 for Gonzalez. Mike Fiers last year, late last year, big league debut. The first hitter he faces, Carlos Gonzalez, and he strikes him out. Worked the scoreless inning, struck out a couple in that major league debut. Working out of the bullpen last September 14th.
Those are the human interest stories that just warm the heart.
Yep, this is a base hit. Fargo had to make sure it cleared Ransom, so he'll just move up 90 feet. The Rockies are tearing the cover off the ball against Mike Fiers. That's their 8th hit.
That's probably the softest one of the bunch. Rosario with the strength hits it over Ransom's head. Carlos Gonzalez had to freeze. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Notice where it hits off the end of the bat. But the top hand comes off to get more extension for Carlos to hit it over the head of Ransom. He got up as high as he could. Carlos freezing like a good base runner should. Now Rick Granitz, longtime pitching coach with the Cubs and 30+ years in this game, has been here for a few years now in Milwaukee, out to talk to his young pitcher.
Nobody out. Rosario at first. Carlos Gonzalez, as you just saw, is at third base.
With Rick Kranitz going out to the hill, Mike McClendon has gotten loose and started to get loose in the bullpen for the Brewers. You see Lee Tunnel in the background against the wall, new bullpen coach. They fired Stan Kiles.
Somebody had to be the scapegoat, I guess, huh? Big
Yes.
swing and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, so they fired their bullpen coach.
McClendon apparently ready. 1-2 on Colvin. Went off speed again.
Really nothing Fiers is throwing up there is fooling the Rockies hitters. He's completely junked the curveball.
I think pitchers, Jeff, tell me if you concur with this, they abandon the breaking ball sometimes just based on Coors Field's reputation, either eliminate it before they take the mound, or if there's a couple that don't have the action that they had hoped they'd have, or that maybe they're accustomed to, they just let it go.
Well, Jonathan Herrera hit the curveball that was a hanger. So he said, well, I'm not going to throw another one because it's going to get hit hard. So you're right. It goes immediately into the mind of the opposing pitcher.
An interesting conversation with Adam Ottavino about the breaking ball yesterday, and he said he's thrown some of his best sliders, and this is a base hit right center field. Rosario's going to go first to third. Colvin hoping for 2, and he's got himself a double. It's 6-0 Colorado. 4 straight hits in the third inning against Mike Fiers. the Rockies with their 4th double of the night. 9 hits in 2+ innings against Mike Fiers, who had a minuscule ERA coming in. It was the changeup.
Yeah, and the 3rd guy this inning to drive in a run. Tyler Colvin into the gap. Rosario running hard. Colvin with his double. For Fiers, that's 9 hits that have been allowed. That's the most he's had since June 9th. He gave up 10, and that's going to be all for him. He's not going to have a chance to tie that with the 10th hit because he's out of the game.
Now Fiers. The 3rd inning. They were doing it against the guy with the lowest ERA in the game over the last month and a half, Mike Fiers. He's gone now, and Mike McClendon will take over. Mike's been back and forth all year long between AAA and the big club. He has not pitched in 10 days.
This was his 4th stint between Nashville and Milwaukee. Fastball, slider, changeup. Fastball 88 to 89 miles an hour.
Chris Nelson at the plate, a chance to do some more damage. He's got Rosario at 3rd, Colvin at 2nd, who just doubled. Fowler began the inning with a single. Cargo singled off the right field wall. Rosario singled. Colvin the double.
This 348 with runners in scoring position.
And this is pulled foul. I want to finish the Ottavino conversation. He was talking about throwing the slider. He said some of the best sliders I've thrown this year have come at Coors Field. He said, and also, you know, sometimes when you don't get the right torque on it, he goes, you throw a cement mixer. So you can throw it at Coors Field. You can throw it at altitude. If you miss with it, probably more hang here than they would if you were at sea level. But to completely abandon it.
Well, you can if it's a part of your pitches.
This is served to center field, a base hit. Rosario will score. Colvin to 3rd. That's 5 straight hits. Ball gets away. Nelson's going to move up. And right about now, Milwaukee would like to pack it in and go back to the hotel and play again tomorrow.
Yeah, can we have a do-over? Yeah, no, you can't have that, Ron Renegade.
And we've got tacos. They're right. Early tacos.
We've seen all types of swings and hits tonight. Another one where the hand comes off on the top, but to get the barrel to the ball, you just throw it out there sometimes, and that's what Chris did. He advanced on the air. They haven't given the air out yet. It went off the glove of Cody Ransom.
I gotta watch this again. They've given the error to Gomez. I thought Ransom could have caught it, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me see. You know what? It sailed a little bit, but
still,
that's
a
one
play.
shortstop's
Yeah,
got to
shortstop
make.
has to catch that. If it goes off the glove, I know he jumped for it, but it wasn't that bad.
And this is sliced to right. A base hit for LeMahieu. Another run for the Rockies. 8-0. That's 6 straight hits in the 3rd inning.
Stay hot, DJ LeMahieu.
And now you just hope that Francis doesn't foul the whole thing.
DJ slicing and dicing across the field. This one to right field. Down and in, pulls the hands in towards the belly. Driving in another run. That's 5 different guys that have driven in a run now for the Rockies. The positioning of the head coming down there, that's what set it up. Your head takes you to where the barrel goes.
How about LeMahieu? 2 for 2 tonight, 9 for his last 15. Jeff will try to get the bunt down again. He hit it in the air, and Ramirez at third made a diving catch in the exact same situation last inning, first and third.
Just looking back at DJ. Before he made that last start in LA, he was hitting .232. Now he's up to .286. And I want to take you back to that swing a moment ago from the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. And the way that the hands coming in closer to the barrel or to the belly, and then the head going down that way. It's just fun to watch a swing and the way it progresses from where you start to where you finish.
Good bunt by Francis. That's the first out of the inning. It comes on the 48th career sacrifice bunt for Jeff Francis in a Rockies uniform, 3rd all time, actually tied for 2nd all time with Nathan Perez behind Aaron Cook. 2 in scoring position now for Eric Young. EY double and an RBI ground out. Clendon bounces it up there. Let's check the Farmers Insurance report card. Report card so far in this game is good for the Rockies. We are checking the National League batting average leaders in the month of August individually. Buster Posey, we know how well he's been doing. John Jay of the Cardinals. Then EY, Nori Aoki, Yadier Molina, Jason Worth. EY's hitting .432 in August. Ball to short, and they're going to come home with it. And was the tag made? Yeah. Tag was made on Chris Nelson.
I think if Chris keeps running, it doesn't pause for a moment.
It's going to be close.
Yeah. The one hopper, or two hopper, excuse me, no, it was just one hop. But if he keeps running and slides to the outside and reaches back with his left hand, he's in there with the bad throw from Ransom. But because of the hesitation, it allowed Jonathan to pick it and tag it.
EY at first, LeMahieu's at third, Johnny Herrera, the 9th man to come to the plate. And EY stole that base. The ball had hit LaCroix's glove, and EY was at second base.
13th stolen base for Eric. I mean, high leg kick. It's not even close. John, throw it back. I don't have it. I don't have it.
This is a pop fly that the shortstop Cody Ransom is going to make the play on. So the Rockies hit around. They score 4 runs. They had 6 consecutive hits to begin the inning. They've run Mike Fiers off. They lead it 8-0. 11 hits to just 1 for Milwaukee.
And that's why it's going to be okay to interview a Brewers fan tonight. Ben Rouse traveled all the way from Wisconsin, but not just for this game. You're going to all 162 this year. How did the idea come up?
Well, I mean, it probably started back in 2006 when I went to 43 games that summer before my sophomore year of college, and I figured, you know, maybe I can someday pull this off. And you know, I realized that you only live once and you might as well do something when you get the chance. So after working for 14 months, I quit my job, and you know, here we are.
And of course, that realization comes through the process of you getting leukemia, surviving leukemia, and like you said, realizing that, gosh, baseball, this is what I want to do. I'm going to go do it. But for part of you, was baseball a little bit of your medicine as you were going through that horrible treatment?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, schoolwork was also a part of that because I kind of just viewed my treatments as another, you know, three credit course, and just dealt with it and did what I had to do. But you know, baseball was an outlet, and I was able to attend a bunch of games, you know, during treatments and you know, during those summers. So.
All right, well, I'll let Drew take this quick. I think we did have a Brewers hit in the game.
Well, now you have another Brewers hit. It's a double by Aramis Ramirez. Jenny, continue on. This young man's going to see all 162 ball games this year?
All 162. He's going to all the stadiums included. So I have to know, hint, hint, you see a beautiful sunset over the mountains. Which been your favorite ballpark to go to?
Well, getting to see AT Park for the first time was definitely a treat. I'm looking forward to going back to Pittsburgh to see PNC Park again. I was there in 2006, 2008, 2010. It's just a great park with the, you know, Roberto Clemente Bridge in the background, and
and Coors Field. You love it here, right?
Yeah, yes. I mean, all parks have, you know, have their own unique aspects that make them fun.
Well, it's cool because you're blogging about your experience at brewersmission162.mlblogs.com, and I love it because you described so much of your experience at the ballpark, and I have to know, how many sausages have you had and how many miles have you traveled?
So I've consumed like 80 sausages, and that includes, I think, like 33 hot dogs, 26 Polish sausages. I break that down on there. And I've traveled, including driving and flight and public transit, 33,000 miles so far this year to see my team play.
Very cool mission. Well, we're glad to hear that you are healthy. Have fun. And Drew, perhaps baseball is the best medicine sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is a ground ball to short that's going to get the run home. Corey Hart gets the RBI as Ramirez scores after another pass ball. He said yesterday, far too many wild pitches, far too many pass balls this year. Young developing catcher Willeen Rosario. 33,000 miles of travel and 6 more weeks of the season.
How about the 2 stories we've heard tonight so far, between Fires and him surviving the car wreck, and this young man seeing all 162 ball games. Story of inspiration.
You bet. It's fouled off by Lucroy. "14 pass balls for Willeen Rosario."
Don't forget the guy that threw out the first pitch today, too. The story Ginny had on him.
Survived the Aurora theater shootings. Lucroy out on his front foot, hits it in the air to shallow center. Long striding to the baseball is Dexter Fowler. 2 outs. Carlos Gomez will come up. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC.
Right in between the opening and the dugout.
And a soft single to center field by Gomez. I will say that Carlos Gomez has stood out tonight for me for 2 things. One, he hit a ground ball to second, as routine a ground ball to second as you'll get, and he absolutely flew up the line and made it a pretty close play. And they're down by 7 runs, a single to center field. He tore around the base as you were taught to do and made Carlos Gonzalez
two guys
fielded into a single.
Michael Kadire and Andrew McCutcheon. Those two guys come to mind as far as the ground balls hit. They're going to run through the base every time, and they're going to take the wide turns and until the outfielder stops you.
Just 45 pitches, by the way, for Jeff tonight. That's a great number with 2 outs in the 4th inning. The Rockies got a couple of shutout performances in Los Angeles from Drew Pomerantz and Alex White, but they, because of pitch count, only went 4 innings. And Jeff get out of this thing pretty quickly, be in line to give the Rockies bullpen a breather of some degree.
That's where you're hoping with the pitch count where it's at. If he can get the next hitter on a pitch or two, you're thinking about the 6th inning, getting into the 6th inning and maybe even beyond.
Ottavino's the piggyback man tonight. The only man not available for the Rockies this evening is Matt Belisle.
The Rockies haven't had a starter reach 7 innings for 58 games now. And that's why it's important for Jeff to go out there and give you the 6 innings for those guys in the pen to watch.
And this will get the Rockies to the dugout. Jeff Francis induces the ground out by Cody Ransom. A double by Ramirez, a wild pitch, and a fielder's choice ground out. A run, 8-1, Colorado. Inning. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question Monday night at the Yard. Ryan Braun on the verge of his 3rd 2020 season. He just needs 1 more stolen base. He's got 19 bags. He's got 29 home runs, leading the National League. Who's the only other Brewer to have more than 1 2020 seasons? Last year, Braun was a 30-30 guy. Dexter Fowler leading things off. Carlos Gonzalez behind him, and then Willeen Rosario. Dexter a double and a single. He has scored 2 runs. Average at 296.
baseman sliding to the third spot in the batting order hasn't affected him.
Sometimes, Jeff, wouldn't you concur the simplest approach offensively is see it and hit it, and if they move you around the lineup, don't try to do anything differently.
Yeah,
just be the same guy you were wherever you would come from in the lineup.
It sounds good in theory, but how many times does that actually work, and how many times have we seen guys do things differently because now they've moved me from the 7th spot to the number 2 spot, or 2 to 4, those type of things. Or you're thinking, well, I need to be a different type of hitter now.
Right. And generally, you get yourself in trouble that way.
And you get moved back to those original spots or onto the bench.
Cargo 1 for 2. He's got 2 RBIs. He came very close to hitting the ball out his last time up. Hit an absolute missile off the right center field wall. He hit it so hard that it was a single. 2-0. Mike McClendon in relief of Mike Fiers. Mike Fiers came in with a 1.80 ERA.
It's up to over 2.6 now with the 8 earned runs he gave up.
3-0 on Gonzalez.
McClendon with the long hair, he reminds me of Doug Jones, former closer. Closed in Milwaukee.
I thought you were going to say Fabio.
No.
Ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Cargo. He'll go to first, and Willeen Rosario will come up. Rockies with 11 hits, and there's 1 out in the 4th inning. Yesterday they blew a 6-4 lead in San Francisco in the 8th inning. Still finished the trip out west 3-3. Willeen a sac fly and a single. 45 RBIs for the rookie catcher. And this ball's high and deep center field. Gomez going back, and he's going to have a play right at the base of the wall.
And watching Gomez in center field take a route where he had to turn and spin and catch it. It looks like it hung up because off the bat you thought it had a chance, but the wind has picked up and is blowing in from left center field now.
Colvin an RBI double in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. Every player in the lineup has a hit, with the exception of Jeff Francis. He was asked to bunt twice, 1 time successfully, 1 time unsuccessfully.
And 6 out of the 8 position players have an RBI.
Ball and a strike on Tyler. This is in the air to left. Ryan Braun is there. And that's all for the Rockies in the 4th. We'll move on to inning number 5 with the Rockies ahead 8-1.
Jeff Francis began the ball game with a 1-2-3 start. Aoki on the first pitch of the ball game, grounding second, and Ricky Weeks got caught looking, and Ryan Braun got caught swinging at a curveball. Learn more about energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Bianchi is the pitch hitter, Jeff Bianchi. Here's the 1-0, and he pokes one to second. So he hits from McClendon and grounds out 4-3. Nori Aoki will be next. Aoki hit the ball twice on the right side. Once you just saw to second, and he also hit a ball to Tyler Colvin at first. Brewers, defending champs in the NL Central, despite losing Prince Fielder, were still expected to contend in the Central. There's 16 games back. LeMahieu, 2 outs.
What an inning so far for Jeff. Still sitting just at 51 pitches.
Let's quickly take a look at today's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Fast speed, a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. Mike Fiers at 90. Jeff Francis at 88. Ricky Weeks, a strikeout and a walk.
Well, part of the Brewers' problem has been one-run games this year compared to last year. Last year, the Brewers were 30-18 in one-run games. This year, just 19-25.
Plus, they had a dynamic 8th and 9th inning combination with K-Rod and Axford. Well, now Axford can't close games.
No.
K-Rod is just completely lost.
And that affects the rest of the bullpen.
That's a base hit up the middle for Ricky Weeks. Toyota Talk coming your way in the 6th inning. That will be next inning. Text Toyota to 720-720. And you'll be entered to win a 1-year family membership to the Denver Zoo. Toyota Talk next inning. Braun 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground ball to third. He got jammed on. 4 for 13 lifetime against Jeff Francis with a couple of bombs. That pitch is away.
Last year for Braun, his MVP season, hit .332, 33 home runs, and 111 RBIs to go along with 33 stolen bases. Some people are saying Matt Kemp should have been the MVP.
I don't think the voters made the wrong selection. I think both guys were worthy. Only one's going to win it unless it's going to be a 79 situation like Willie Stargell and Keith Hernandez, who shared it.
Right.
But this is one of the game's great hitters and power hitters, and there is a delineation.
Well, and the other thing too is Club won the division and the Dodgers didn't.
Yeah.
That plays into some voters' minds.
Oh, it always does. Absolutely. 3-0 on Braun. And I think to get in that class, you can't have just 1 year. You have to be consistent. And since he arrived out of the University of Miami, by way of California, he has been, year in and year out, a tremendous offensive player.
And one of the smartest things they did was move him off third base and put him in left field. Because third base, he was not good.
No, but he's like so many guys, Jeff, that you grew up playing with in pro ball and onto the big leagues. He was a shortstop growing up. And then he moved to third, and he got tutored by another guy from South Florida at the time, A-Rod. This ball on the ground toward the hole and on through, a base hit for Braun.
2 on with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Aramis Ramirez. If you remember, A-Rod worked with them on moving over to third, because that's what A-Rod did when he went to New York. And they had a fellow by the name of Jeter there, and then ultimately they moved him to left field. And though he struggled there initially, he's become an above average left fielder.
He's an athlete, so you can do the things that Ryan Braun did. More than anything, at third base, the hands just weren't working together with the feet. Now out in left field, the other thing it does is it clears his mind to truly just focus on what he does best, and that's hit.
Catch the ball, hit the cutoff man, and go mash.
Hit.
Yeah.
Go hit us a few more home runs.
This guy's always been able to play third base, and he's done some mashing in his career. Well over 300 home runs. Aramis Ramirez, the former Pirate, Chicago Cub. And he fouls this one off. AT&T trivia question. We have to provide you with an answer. It's all about Ryan Braun, his consecutive 2020 seasons. Who's the only other Brewer to have more than one? It's his teammate, Corey Hart. A lot of people wouldn't think of that. They think of, you know, a Robin Young or a Molitor. Corey Hart in 07 and 08. Or Tommy Harper going back. Had to reach for this, hits it to deep left field. Cargo hoping for a play, will have one. Got him out on the front side just enough, did Jeff Francis, and it's a long out. 8-1 Rockies as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ford Edge. Class-defining style, revolutionary technology. Ford Edge, go further. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. And by Ram Trucks, now get a great deal on a new Ram truck at the Ram Summer Clearance event going on right now. The Brewers have gone to the old man, Livan Hernandez. Livan on for the 32nd time this year. Former Rocky.
Yeah, 9th major league club now for Hernandez. Went to camp with the Astros, was released, signed by the Braves the next day, then put on waivers in June. Milwaukee picked him up. Just looking to see what the color of his glove is. It's just a typical black or blue. It's not the bright red that we're used to seeing Livan have.
He's moving around too much this year. He can't break in all those different gloves.
He just had to go traditional.
McClendon worked 2 scoreless innings, gave up a couple of hits, walked 1. Mike Fiers on the hook in 2+ innings, 8 runs, 9 hits. He didn't walk anybody, struck out just 1. Chris Nelson, a single and a double tonight. And Nelly's gone.
You'll get everything but the kitchen sink from Livan Hernandez, and he might even throw that at you. 85, 62 mile-an-hour curveballs, sliders, changeups. The one thing he can't give you is a green pack. You can buy a green pack, 2 tickets for $24, and $5 will go towards planting trees. It's available tomorrow.
Ground ball ricochets off of Hernandez, and DJ LeMahieu has his 3rd hit of the ball game.
That's almost as nice as the one Jordan Pacheco got the other day, where it hit Ramon Hernandez for the base hit. This one is going to be an easy play for the second baseman, Ricky Weeks, and then a kick save, and it wasn't a save, just a kick at the ball from Livan Hernandez gives DJ his 3rd knock.
And Jeff Francis in another bunting situation. 12 hits for the Rockies now. DJ takes off, and they still get the force at second on the first double play. Probably the one place he could not hit that with the hit and run. And he did. Comebacker, and Livan's always fielded his position well. 1-6-3 on the turn, 8-1 Colorado. For the 6th inning, and great news, Jeff Francis, just 60 pitches in, is out there. Jeff has a chance to work at least 6. Who knows? If things are rolling for him, perhaps beyond that. Jeff has allowed a run on 5 hits in this ball game as he completes his warm-up pitches. Corey Hart, Jonathan Lucroy, and Carlos Gomez the 6th for Ron Renicki's team. Jeff, coming into the ball game, had given up 14 earned runs in his previous 11 2/3.
His last 3 games, 0-2, a 10.80 ERA, and a batting average against a 3.65. And he's been asked the question after those games, what's wrong? He said, I just haven't hit my spots. And no excuses.
No, I
just haven't pitched well.
Yeah, and every pitcher does. Naturally, there's a little less margin for error when you're not, a hard thrower.
we've seen all 3 pitches work for Jeff tonight. And when he misses, that's where he's been missing.
There's Ottavino just in case. 2-1 on Corey Hart. That's a strike. 2-2.
Corey didn't like that call from CB Buckner.
He was on the edge of the 4th strike
well, what
zone.
he should have done, he should have hit it. It was 77 miles an hour and a changeup.
Corey was saying before the ball game, I asked him what kind of experience he had at first when he was a shortstop as a kid. He's a great athlete, 6'6". And then his first 2.5 years of pro ball, he was playing a lot of first base. And then Prince Fielder came along and they moved him. He eventually ended up in the outfield. He said I'm fine on bunt defense. I'm fine on the cuts. He said the thing still a little nerve-wracking is when one of those big old lefties comes up and I'm only about 110 feet away.
And I know I have to get in front of it and knock it down.
Or if he's holding a guy on, he's 88 feet away.
When he comes off the plate, when guys like Carlos Gonzalez get up there and they're thinking about turning and burning and roping one at you.
Well, the bat goes flying. The ball goes to Chris Nelson, and Hart is out at first by half a step. Well, the location and the changing of speeds has been outstanding for Jeff Francis.
Yeah, and from the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, bat splits right down the middle. Barrel goes out towards shortstop. Chris Nelson, strong throw, gets Hart by a half step.
Jonathan Lucroy 0 for 2. Lucroy with that broken hand missed 2 months. Came into the ball game hitting .476 against Southpaws. Mentioned earlier, Lucroy was on his way perhaps to being an all-star and then got hurt. The Brewers had only one all-star. It was Ryan Braun. 3-0.
Ron Renicky did serve on the staff at the all-star game, but as far as players like the Rockies, just the one, Carlos Gonzalez for Colorado.
Second walk allowed by Francis. That'll bring up Gomez.
With Francis getting into the 6th inning here since July 28th, it's only happened 2 other times that a starter has gone into the 5th inning, or the 6th inning, excuse me. Alex White on August 2nd at St. Louis, and then Tyler Chatwood last Friday night. With Gomez's speed, infielders, make sure you catch the ball and get the lead runner. Don't be in a hurry to try to turn 2. Just make sure 1.
Six straight out of the strike zone for Jeff.
Slowing things down for Francis.
Another note on an injured Rocky, Jhoulys Chacín, around the clubhouse today. Threw the ball well 2 days ago. The Rockies wanted to check him out a little bit, and everything went fine. They've elected to have him start one more ball game at least at AAA Colorado Springs. That will come Thursday, and then the Rockies will reevaluate from that point. So Chacín's not far away.
No, he was beaming ear to ear in the locker room. Talked to him. He said, I feel great. Arm responding. No pain whatsoever.
On the right field line, EY in that corner does not have a play. 2-1. Well, the Brewers
Eric wisely sliding to keep from running into the wall to slow him down.
Brewers know all about injuries, Huey. They know all about ACL tears. Alex Gonzalez, shortstop, done for the year. ACL tear.
Yeah.
Carlos Gomez turns on that one and hits it out his 11th of the year, and it's 8-3. I'll tell you what, Lucroy better hustle and get home because Gomez almost caught him.
It might be the fastest home run. I don't want to say trot because it wasn't. It was a sprint. Hips open up. The fall three doesn't get the leg drive from the right back leg that most hitters get. But I mean, this is a fast run around the bases.
Well, after 76 pitches and 5 1/3, Jim Tracy takes the baseball from Jeff Francis. Adam Ottavino will come on. Rockies up 8-3.
That home run. Okay, I was set up and I waited and I waited and I pulled the hands in and hit it out. Strong guy, 11 home runs, but the Brew Crew's still trailing by 5. Adam Ottavino, the piggyback guy tonight for the Colorado Rockies. In to relieve Francis, who threw 5 1/3. Just 6 hits, 3 earned runs.
Yeah, that's what you get a lot of with Adam Ottavino, that slider.
And you get it at 94 to 96 mile an hour with the fastball. The last 11 appearances for Adam, a 151 batting average against. Boy, oh boy.
That's a devastating slider.
That's the one you were talking about earlier in the broadcast, Drew, where he gets on top of it and finishes out front. It's not out and around.
And where are we?
Coors Field. So, yeah, just what he was talking about.
Yeah, you can throw it here. come with 96-mile-an-hour heat. When he was in the Cardinal organization, Ottavino, going back to his high school days in Brooklyn, travel ball out of New York and played on some really good teams, played with Pedro Alvarez, the young star of the Pittsburgh Pirates who went to Vanderbilt, and then he went on to Northeastern. He was drafted out of high school, didn't sign. He always had the good arm, but he always possessed a really good breaking ball. And when he got with the Cardinals, you know, they saw this guy who throws in the mid-90s. They wanted him to throw the fastball a lot more than he was.
Yeah, and he's in a situation now where he can still throw the fastball, but he's a two-pitch pitcher. He doesn't have to worry about developing a third pitch for the third time through a lineup. All of his games with the Cardinals, except for one where it was a starter, he comes over here, they slide him to the bullpen, and he's found a home.
2-1 on Livan Hernandez. They're going to try to get some length out of Livan, and of course Livan has always swung the bat well, so Ron Renicky had no problem doing this, didn't want a double switch.
You already used one of your bench players today.
2-2.
Jerry Narron, the bench coach, to go along with his brother Johnny Narron, who's the hitting coach.
A family affair. And a good fastball at 95. Livan Hernandez, a strikeout victim. Ottavino comes in, gets 2 punch outs. Rockies lead 8-3 after the Gomez 2-run shot.
Hey fans, after watching the Rockies play on Sunday, watch Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy. Every week looking for the keyword during the show and text it to 720-720 for a chance to receive prizes. Hear from the skipper and win great giveaways by watching Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy Sunday after the ball game.
That's a good idea, Huey.
That's what I always do. Go home, watch Rockies Weekly.
Rockies left the top of the order up in Rockies Nightly. And it'll be Eric Young Jr. for the 4th time already. He is 1 for 3. He has an RBI and a run scored. He has a stolen base. And he's got another hit. Well, I was worried about him going in a slump.
Last few games, Eric Young Jr.'s had 3 3-hit games and 2 2-hit games, and now another one tonight. And he's not finished yet.
15 for his last 31 at the plate. Johnny Herrera comes up. Johnny's 1 for 3. An RBI single and a run scored. Got the ribby back in the first inning. 8-3 Colorado. They've out-hit the Brew Crew 13-6. Brewers, one of those teams the Rockies have had a great deal of success against through the years, particularly here at home. They haven't lost a home series to the Brewers, 07. Outside ball 1. They took 2 of 3 earlier this year at Miller Park.
There's a question from Gino in Colorado Springs. Why are both teams wearing dark jerseys? It's okay. Normally you would see the road team wearing a gray colored jersey, but since it's blue and purple, different color pants, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but you know, it's funny because to that texter's observations, he's kind of odd to see that, especially when you're looking at the at this camera angle, the pitcher and the
it looks
hitter.
similar.
It looks like an intra-squad game. This ball pulled to first. Low throw off the bat. Nope. Kept the foot on, evidently, according to Corey Blazer, and Jim Tracy is going to argue about that one. A low throw by Corey Hart to Cody Ransom.
Jim Tracy does have some history with Corey Blazer. Corey's thrown him out 2 other times in his career. Now Jim's going out there to say, was his foot on the bag? Did he get it back there? Corey's saying, I had him where he caught it. He was off and then touched the toes back on the bag. A bad throw from Corey Hart.
Not
right there.
Yeah, you know what? He was out.
He was out. But this is the angle. This is what you see from the bench area. You don't see this with the catch foot on. You see the opening, that space right in there.
Fielder's choice 3-6. Well, good call, Corey Blazer.
Yes,
you certainly understand why Jim Tracy ran out there. You ever seen a pitcher wear a batting glove, Jeff, under his mitt? That from Noah.
Not allowed to. Pitchers can't have anything that would distract the hitter.
Dex 2 for 3. Brought just a 205 average into the ball game career-wise against Milwaukee. And he's got to get up the line. Ransom to first, double play. 4-6-3 on the turn. Rockies done in the 6th. We move on to inning number 7. Colorado 8 and Milwaukee 3. He lets us look back. Rockies did damage early. They got 3 in the first, and in the 3rd they continued. A rocket off the right center field wall. Run home. Dexter Fowler. Fargo got just a single on it. It was hit so hard. And then a double by Tyler Colvin.
base hit by Chris Nelson. Rockies had 6 straight hits in the 3rd inning. Got a 3-for-3 ball game for DJ LeMahieu. Carlos Gomez in the 6th got a high fastball, and he hit it out with a man aboard to make it 8-3. That chased Jeff Francis, and Adam Ottavino got the final 2 outs on strikeouts in the 6th inning, and he's facing Nori Aoki here in the 7th. That look back brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address, South Broadway in Littleton. With Jeff Hewson and Jenny Kavnar, I'm Drew Goodman. Fastball on the inside corner at 93 for a strike. It's 1-1.
Aoki, like so many from Japan and the Far East, the leg kick and running out of the box as they start to swing.
That's a changeup, and it's a split changeup, and he hasn't thrown it a lot, but he always works on it between innings. And he told me yesterday he wanted to start adding it.
Well, now's a perfect time to do that. It's an 8-3 game. You're going against a guy that has some power, but he looks to hit the ball on the ground more and try to beat it out.
He has not thrown it in a game till right here.
No, and you can see the split on the fingers from the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. It's just off of the seams. It's not a big split where you bury it back into the webbing more. Well, first 10,000 fans tomorrow will receive a coupon for a $1 hot dog courtesy of Hebrew National.
Hi there.
He's enjoying that ice cream cone.
You're going to take him, his clothes, and everything else, just dump it right in the bathtub. You're going to the bathtub before bedtime tonight.
I like the way they tried to put the napkin on the shirt just to protect it.
Yeah, that's for show. That's awesome. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Aoki. And he hits it in the air to Cargo, positioned perfectly. And he casually makes the catch. 1 out in the 7th inning. That'll bring up Ricky Weeks. Ricky is 1 for 2 in a walk. Older brother of Jamal Weeks.
The advanced scouting that Chris Warren and that group do, it just leads you to where Carlos Gonzalez even started that play, because he had already shifted over and was positioned perfectly because of Aoki and his swing path.
Ottavino changing his pattern at least this inning a little bit. He's setting up the breaking stuff with the heater. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah, last inning it was the breaking pitch and then the heater. This time it's the heater and then going to the off speed. That's guys will go back to the dugout, or if you're sitting in the dugout, you're watching a new pitcher come in, some guy you haven't seen before. You look for tendencies immediately. How does he start off every hitter? Well, last inning he started him off with sliders. So a hitter goes up this inning saying, well, I'm going to take the first pitch because it's going to be a slider. And then he throws a fastball back to the slider.
Ball and 2 strikes on Weeks. Ricky leads the club in strikeouts with 128.
His brother in Oakland is the one that pushed Mark Ellis out last year and precipitated the trade to the Rockies.
And a ground ball to DJ LeMahieu. Won't get an easier play than that. 2 outs. And Ryan Braun coming up. Braun is 1 for 3. Bounced a single through the left side in the 5th inning. Braun 3rd in the league in RBIs. Beltran and Holiday 1-2. 2 Cardinals.
He's 1st in home runs.
Among the league leaders in every offensive stat. He's 2nd in total bases to Andrew McCutchen. He's 3rd in the league in slugging percentage behind McCutchen and Joey Votto. Cargo's 6th on that list. 0-1 on Braun.
Carlos Gonzalez was positioned perfectly. How about this fan? Off the railing, back down to him without a glove. And he's got a Cargo jersey.
From the All-Star game.
Yes.
In Kansas City. Hadn't seen that one. Other than what we were watching on TV. That's high. You know, Adam Ottavino, there's Cargo. Adam Ottavino still makes his offseason home in Brooklyn. And remember, he's telling me that, you know, in the winter to work out, kind of hard to go outside. He goes to an armory in Brooklyn, and there's a few other New Yorkers who are in pro baseball.
They got them.
That they go work out there, but they can't work out at the armory because the boys club uses it until about 11:30. So they go in there at midnight. And he said it's about 400 feet long and it's enormously high, so you can long toss, do everything they want. They just can't work out till midnight.
Yeah, or they can't go outside because it's too cold.
Braun hits it in the air to Eric Young and right. Ewise got it. Ottavino has retired all 5 he has faced. 8-3 Colorado. This is brought to you by Hyundai's Summer Drive sales event now through September 3rd. By the Courtyard by Marriott, Western Elegance in the cultural heart of the city. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Carlos Gonzalez takes a strike against Livan Hernandez. Third inning of work for Livan. Carr goes 1 for 2 in a walk. He's driven in a pair of runs tonight. The RBI total to 76. He's at 66-mile-an-hour curveball. Ball and a strike on Cargo.
At what speed does it become an eephus pitch? Below 60?
Yeah, I would say below 60, which I haven't seen.
No. So it's still just a slow curveball.
2-1, and he pops him up. Ramirez makes the catch. That'll bring up Willeen Rosario, who is 1 for 2 and a sac fly.
Fans, you'll want to support the Rockies' wives as they host their annual Grab Bags charity event August 17th and 18th. Stop by section 131 and pick up a mystery bag with an autographed baseball while supplies last. August 17th and 18th.
On the outside corner. The heater at 83.
When you're in your 17th year of pro ball, 83 is still getting it up there.
Curveball hit in the air down the left field line and wrong. Needed 3 more feet of room. You know, Major League Baseball lost a great ambassador today, a legend in Boston. After all the foul poles named after him down the right field line, Johnny Pesky, who was a player, a manager, and a broadcaster for the Red Sox. He passes at 92, and it was just a few days ago that he was in his regular spot at Fenway Park.
The fixture there every time he used to go in there and play as a visiting ball club.
He'd be in uniform.
He would be.
And he's the only Red Sox player to have the distinction of having his number retired yet not being in the Hall of Fame. That's how popular he was in Boston. Back in September of 2006, a plaque was unveiled at the base of the foul pole in right field, just 302 feet from home plate, designating it officially as Pesky's pole.
He was 86 or 87 at that time.
Yep, it was on his 87th birthday. The origin of why it's called Pesky's pole, the term was coined evidently by former Red Sox pitcher Mel Parnell, who during a broadcast in the 50s recalled Pesky winning a game for him with a home run around the pole. And here's a guy that hit only 17 career home runs, and only 6 were at Fenway Park. But it's the Pesky pole.
Everybody knows it's a Pesky pole.
Yeah, as if he was, you know, David Ortiz back in the day.
Hit 300 in his career.
Rosario goes to first. Tyler Colvin comes up. Pesky could hit a little bit. He led the American League in hits in 42, 1946, and 47. He missed 3 years. due to service in World War II. Johnny Pesky gone at 92. A life well lived.
Yeah, and he played really all over in the infield. Majority of his time at shortstop, then next at third base, and second base would be his third position.
One and one on Colvin. Rockies got all 8 runs in the first 3 innings. And there's another base hit for Colvin. Reaches down and swats it to center field. His second knock of the ball game.
And both of his hits today is he's had to go down and get them. He did it on the double to right center field. This time he goes down and gets the ball that's below his knees and hits it into center field. And from the side, Tyler Colvin, I mean, that's a two-hander that he stays through the middle of the zone on.
Chris Nelson coming up. Colvin acknowledging to Richie Dower, 1 out. Doesn't matter what level it is, you always remind the base runners how the situation, and you always finish with how many outs there are. Sometimes you repeat it.
And that's why Tyler gave it back to Richie to ingrain it even more in his head. Okay, I got you. You telling me 1 out. I'm reminding myself there's 1 out.
Yeah, breaking up 2. You know, as we go around from ballpark to ballpark, there are certain, you know, legendary figures that you're accustomed to seeing. You go to San Francisco, and if you go in the Giants clubhouse, as we discussed yesterday, more often than not, Willie Mays is in there playing cards. And we're talking about Johnny Pesky, and we've seen him in Boston in years past. Red Schoendienst still alive, 89. And you go to St. Louis. It used to be all the time that Red was there. Many times Stan Musial.
Well, in L.A. we saw Don Newcomb. And
sure, and he's always there.
Yeah.
Willie McCovey's at virtually every Giant game. 1 and 2 on Nelson. Who Wants Tacos fans? The Rockies have scored 7 runs tonight. Don't forget to go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Billy Williams, another guy. Now, of course, he's not in the same age bracket as the Red Schoendienst.
No, but he's got his number retired.
Right.
That's up on a pole in Chicago.
He's an old friend of yours.
Yep.
We'll see Billy in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he was our first base coach when I was playing there in 2000. Talk about a legend.
Yeah.
In Chicago, and having him in uniform telling you his stories.
Very nice man. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Nelson. Crowd of 26,821 at Coors Field on a Monday night. Two from Livan Hernandez. And that ball to right field. And it's gloved out there by Aoki. 2 outs. And here comes DJ LeMahieu. He's got a perfect ball game going. He's 3 for 3.
Closing in on the 300 average. 294.
DJ a couple hits yesterday. He had a couple hits, including a home run on Saturday. He's in the midst of a 5-game hitting streak.
Rockies tonight. 7 for 14 with runners in scoring position.
Well, DJ LeMahieu's taken what he did on the road in Los Angeles and San Francisco to the home yard. He's 10 for his last 16 at the plate. 7 for 13 on that trip out west. He went around 1-1.
Chatting with Carney today, Carney Lansford, during batting practice, and we were talking about DJ. He said, well, since he's come back, he's gone back to a leg kick again. And asked him why did he get away from it. He goes, I don't know, but it's working now.
He's going to keep it, I think. He's 4 for 4. He just drove in his second run of the ball game. Willeen Rosario heads to the dugout. It's 9-3 Colorado. Glenn Allen Hill telling DJ, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it.
Keep doing it. It was a flat slider from Livan Hernandez. Away from DJ. About belt high. I mean, it's going to come right into that area. And he takes it right where you should. And then notice the leg kick. Get it up and then get it right back down into that area. Lock it in, and he's gone.
4 hits, a new career high for DJ LeMahieu. First and third. And Adam Ottavino. Who was a very good hitter back in high school, and when he was drafted in high school, parents were wondering, as a pitcher or hitter, and they said, no, he throws really hard. We want him as a pitcher.
When you have a 95 to 96 mile an hour fastball, yeah, it's going to be pitching.
Two and one on Ottavino. There's some guys who are going to go up there against Huey, and it's going to be an uncomfortable at bat because they throw really hard or whatever. Not the case with Livan Hernandez. Now, he may get you out because he's really good at doing that.
But as a pitcher going up there, you're thinking your lucky stars is not Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you would hit off him, obviously, where he's going to be in a safe situation. The pitcher's going to be
sure.
But that type of arm where he's throwing hard, not sure where it's going.
Yeah. Well, Ottavino strikes out. Rockies get another run in the inning, driven in by DJ LeMahieu, who is 4 for 4. 9-3 Colorado as we move to the 8th. the 8th inning. Get a green pack today. It's only $24 for 2 great seats, with $5 going towards the Green Fund, which plants trees in the Denver area. Join us tomorrow for the next Green game. As the Rockies take on the Brew Crew, visit coloradorockies.com/green for more information. Adam Ottavino has retired the first 5 he has faced. He'll face Aramis Ramirez now, Corey Hart, and Jonathan Lucroy. Slider a tad bit high. 3rd inning out west, where the Rockies just were at AT&T Park. The Nationals leading the Giants 2-0. That's Gio Gonzalez and Ryan Vogelsong. And a base hit for Ramirez, his 2nd of the game.
We have to keep pace with the Dodgers. Dodgers won tonight 5-4.
That 5-4 ball game for the Dodgers. Shane Victorino hit his 10th home run. Aaron Harang got the win. Jansen his 24th save. That's what the division looks like right now. The Dodgers a half game behind the Giants. Arizona, nobody talks about them. They're still very much in it, just 5 back. Corey Hart hits it down the right field line, and this one's foul. Padres beat the Braves in Atlanta tonight 4-1. Chase Headley on a home run tear. 19 home runs for Chase Headley.
For a guy that was mentioned as possibly being traded at the All-Star break, he's caught fire for the Padres.
Could be 2. There's 1. There's 2. Nicely done by the Rockies. Johnny Herrera. DJ LeMahieu on to Tyler Colvin.
Doesn't get much easier than this. Jonathan Herrera. Easy flip to DJ. DJ gets rid of it before the base runner's there.
That'll bring up Jonathan Lucroy 0 for 2 and a walk. Lucroy walked in the 6th inning in front of Carlos Gomez's 2-run home run. Jeff Francis went 5 1/3, very sound. Ended up giving up 3 runs on 6 hits, walked 2, struck out 2. Really controlled the bats for the most part of Milwaukee, kept them off balance.
Yeah, the only time he ran into trouble was when he walked Jonathan and then gave up the home run to Gomez. Besides that, it was off speed, fastballs, cutting, inside, outside. Hang on to get the win, then Jeff will move into 2nd all time as far as Rockies wins with 59, just trailing Aaron Cook.
Oh, 2 count on Lucroy. Nice play. How about that?
Yeah.
Look what I found.
It's going right. It's going right.
You bet. Ottavino's going to get some high fives going to the dugout. I got it. No problem.
Field for the bottom of the 8th. Well, we know that right now the San Francisco Giants are losing. Can they come win and keep their lead in the NL West? That we don't know yet, but let's take a look at what's happening around the National League West right now. Houston Street, he is back on the disabled list. That happened on Friday. He has a left calf strain. Los Angeles, after the Rockies beat them at Dodger Stadium to win the series, they've won now 4 of their last 5 games. And Pablo Sandoval, he returned to the Giants lineup today. What does that mean for the rest of the infield? Well, it looks that former Rocky Marco Scutaro will do some shuffling about. And the Arizona Diamondbacks, as Drew mentioned, they're still in this thing. They are 5 games back, but really hurt themselves last week when they had 9 errors in 6 games. So they are looking to turn things around and try and see what's up with LA and San Francisco, guys.
All right, Jenny, thank you. Talking about the Giants a moment ago, they now trail 5-0 to the Nationals. Ryan Vogelsong getting knocked around by Washington. EY fouls off another pitch. It's 0-2.
The new pitcher for the Brewers is Francisco Rodriguez. This tells you how far that he's fallen, that he's coming into a game that the Brewers are trailing by 6 in the 8th inning to get some work, because over the last 8 games and appearances, he's given up 13 earned runs in just 6 innings, an ERA of 19.5.
He signed a 1-year, $8 million deal in the offseason. Got him with a changeup.
Fans, you can follow your Rockies on your phone with the MLB.com at Bat 2012 app. Features highlights, pitch tracking, and more. Text at BAT to 31826.
Johnny Herrera getting the start for Josh Rutledge at shortstop. Been flawless defensively, 1 for 4, an RBI and a run scored on the offensive side of things. This is in the air to Ryan Braun in left. 2 gone. Dexter Fowler will take his turn. Dex with a couple of hits. Jenny mentioned Marco Scutaro. Scutaro is starting at third base tonight. Even though Kung Fu Panda is coming back, he'll probably slide over and play a lot of second base once Sandoval is back in the lineup.
Will Harris. He was up in San Francisco just to get loose, and now he's firing to come into the game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him, as I know you are. Good numbers he's put up. Be his big league debut. 1-1.
And an ideal spot to bring him in. Large lead. You can let him get all the butterflies and the nerves out.
1-2. Phillies behind Cole Hamels shut out the Marlins 40-0 tonight. Hamels now 13-6. Cubs over the Astros 7-1. Samardzija gets the win. Soriano is 21st. He went. So the Rockies go quietly in the 8th inning against K-Rod. We'll go to the 9th with the Rockies looking for 3 more outs. They're up 9-3. Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Jack in the Box, get the All-American Jack Combo at Jack in the Box. It's a no-nonsense burger with fries and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. Pretty night in Denver, and the scoreboard looks pretty as well. Rockies with 15 hits. They lead the Brewers 9-3 as we go to the top of the ninth inning. Joel Klatt's out in center field. Joel?
That's right. And Tracy Ringlesby wanted me to remind everybody that today is National Left-Handers Day. How about that? Jeff Francis, Southpaw. The lefty gets a start on National Left-Handers Day. He was brilliant. We'll talk about the pitching from the Rockies. Plus, the DJ was playing the hits tonight, fellas. DJ LeMahieu, 4 hits. We'll talk about him in the post-game show. We'll get down to the clubhouse and hear from Jim Tracy. That's all coming up out here in center field. We're looking forward to a little party out here, huh, Drew?
Could be. Could be.
Joel, who came up with playing the hits?
I got to say that was Darren, in the front row of the press box.
Yes, okay.
Every night, Darren tries to give us a topical, and we shoot him down every single night. And tonight, we begrudgingly gave in and said, you know what, that one's pretty good.
Well, with DJ playing the 4 hits tonight, he was spot on.
It was a good one.
That'll work nicely. I like that. Will Harris making his major league debut out of Houston, Texas. He missed most of 2009 and 2010. And this year he's put up terrific numbers between Tulsa and Colorado Springs, 4-1 with a 2.08. He's always worked out of the bullpen. And prior to his injury a few years ago, he had put up great numbers, high strikeout totals per innings pitched. He'll come downhill and he'll throw in the mid-90s.
Yeah, 66 strikeouts in 50 and a third innings in the minor leagues.
His first big league pitch misses, ball 1. Carlos Gomez 2 for 3. The 2-run home run back in the 6th. His first subject.
And the hardest part for anybody making their major league debut is to control your breathing. That heart is pumping right now. If you had something where you could measure a heartbeat.
Isn't that assuming you are breathing?
Yes, assuming you are. You have to be a little bit, but taking a deep breath and not those shallow ones.
And this is a floater that's going to land in front of Dexter Fowler, so a base hit for Gomez.
Gomez home run last time up. This time a fastball on the hands. He fights it off. It just drops it in front of Dexter in center field.
Cody Ransom at the plate. Great job by Adam Ottavino. 2 2/3 scoreless innings, just a hit allowed. He punched out a couple, didn't walk anybody.
Well, the last 3 appearances for Adam, 7 2/3 innings, just 2 hits, 0 runs.
And he's going to get his second hitter out, Cody Ransom, on a fly ball to center field.
Travis Ishikawa will hit for the pitcher.
Travis Ishikawa, the former Giant. One strike count on Ishikawa. That's a pretty good curveball right there.
That's the one we've been looking to see. Mike Shaw, Subaru Supermo. And this is over the top curveball. Oh. Got him on the elbow guard that he wears.
Yeah, that was protective gear. Got him on an 0-2 pitch. So 2 on, 1 out.
He just overthrew this fastball. You'll do that when you're amped up. You'll rush to the plate, leave the arm behind. And then when you get to the point where it's starting to come out of your hand, you feel like you have to catch up. You hold on to the ball too long.
Aoki at the plate. Will Harris brought up when Edgemere Escalona went on the disabled list with tricep issue. To first, good pickup, get the out. That's what Colvin did. He dropped the baseball. He was looking to try to turn 2 with the 6-run lead. Get outs.
Your instincts tell you differently. You feel that I want to get the lead runner, but the bobble, even with the bobble, his throwing lane was not the best of where he was in relationship to where the runner was. But recovered, got the out. He's sitting here 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Ricky Weeks. And Weeks fouls it off. Rockies up by 6 runs. The 1-1 breaking ball, and it's hit well to left. It's going to get on out. Ricky Weeks got a hanging curveball, his 13th home run of the year, and he just made it 9-6. Now you feel for the kid on the mound.
Yeah.
He's battled to get to this level, and all the dreams from when you're a kid on up. You didn't want to have an outing where you gave up a 3-run home run.
No, but the strength of Ricky Weeks is shown with that swing and what you do with a breaking pitch that's not located.
And now he's got Ryan Braun at the plate. And if he doesn't get Braun, the Rockies will bring in Betancourt in all likelihood.
And that's the last thing that Jim wanted to have to do today is get Betancourt up and get him loose out in the pen.
2-strike count on Braun.
Take it from the side for Ricky Weeks. That was somewhat off of balance. He was falling over the plate. It wasn't a pure classic power swing.
Strike 3. C.B. Buckner calls out Ryan Braun. Will Harris gets the 27th out. And the Rockies come back to Coors Field. They win it 9-6 over the Milwaukee Brewers. Jeff Francis gets the win. He evens his record at 4-4. His 59th career win with the Rockies, passing Jason Jennings for second place by himself on the Rockies' all-time win list. Mike Fiers, who has been incredibly good this year, the Rockies got after him in a big way. He takes the loss. He's now 6-5. The Rockies scored 8 runs against Fiers on 9 hits in 2 innings. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. DJ LeMahieu, a perfect game. 4 times to the plate, 4 singles, and a couple of RBIs, a career high in hits for the Rockies' second baseman, DJ LeMahieu, leading the Rockies' attack tonight as the Rockies prevail 9-6. For a location near you, go to jimmyjohns.com. 9 runs, 15 hits for the Rockies, 6 runs, 9 hits, a pair of errors for Milwaukee. 9-6 the final. Stick around. The Toyota postgame show from center field is up next.